Hello and welcome to Bible Stories with the Uwa Robinsons. Today we're going to be telling the story of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, and it's taken from the book of Daniel chapter 3.
Wow.
Yeah, great story there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go hear the story and we'll be right back to hear the lessons.
Sit back and watch.
Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, built a good statue. It was 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide, and he set it up on a plain called Dura. And he made an invitation to all his officials, governors, judges, magistrates, inviting them to the dedication of this massive statue that he had made. All of them came and stood before the good statue. And there was a great shout from a group of people saying, "This is the king's commandment. When you hear the sound of lyre, the sound of harp, the sound of the horn, and all other musical instruments, bow down and worship the good statue that the king had made. And anyone who does not bow down will be thrown into the blazing furnace." And the music went out and everyone bowed down. Now, there were some astrologers, I call them reporters. They went to the king Nebuchadnezzar and said to the king, "Did you not say that we should bow down? Did you not say that anyone who does not bow down to your good statue will be thrown into the blazing furnace? Lo and behold, these Jews whom you have made leaders in the provinces of Babylon, see, they have defied your commandment. They have refused to bow." And the king flew into a rage and said, "Call them out, call them out." And they called them. And he said, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, is it true that you have refused to bow to the gold statue that I have made? Now I am going to give you one more chance. When you hear the sound of music, I want you to bow." And these three Hebrew boys responded, "O king, we are not careful to answer you in this matter. I mean, we don't need to defend ourselves. The God that we serve will save us from your hands. Even if he refuses to save us, we are not ready to bow to your god statue or any of your gods that you have made. We are not going to worship." The king was so angry that his face became distorted, and he said, "Increase the intensity of the fire 7 times." And he sent the strongest men from his army to throw them into the fire. Lo and behold, the fire was so hot that it burnt these strong men. And these 3 Hebrew boys landed into the fire. And Nebuchadnezzar all of a sudden looked and said, called his advisors, "Did we not throw in 3 men tied into the fire?" And they said, "Yes, my lord, we did throw 3 men tied into the fire." And he said, "Lo, I see a 4th one. They are now 4. I see 4 men walking unbound in the fire. And the 4th one is like a god." And he went as close as he could to the mouth of the furnace and said, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come out, come here." And when they came out, the whole crowd had gathered around them. And behold, not even a hair of their head was singed. Their clothes were not scorched, and not even the smell of flame came out from them. And the whole people were amazed. And the king said, "Despite the fact that you defiled my commandment, choosing rather to die than to obey me and disobey your God, look, he has sent his angels to deliver you. Now, the whole of Babylon, listen to me. Every race, every nation, and every language, everybody must serve the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And anyone who speaks anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego will be torn limb from limb." And he promoted them even to a higher position in the land of Babylon. Wow, what a story. We're going to learn the lessons that are embedded in this story. And I'll see you on the other side. Hey, you're welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hope you enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did. All right, so what lessons can we glean from the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
Well, a lot of lessons we can glean from this story. The first thing I want us to learn from the story is that phrase that said, "We are not careful to answer you in this matter." Take note, this matter,
Okay.
not that matter. Now, they were invariably saying that in other matters, we can obey you. You know, if you give us some responsibilities to do, we do assignment in the place of my work, I am up doing. I get to work very early. You know, I keep all my files and do everything. But when it comes to a matter that has to do with my faith, that has to do with my conviction, I am not careful to answer you in this matter. And I want to ask you, do you have a matter that you will not be careful to answer anybody regardless of the status of the person? Do you have a conviction? Any man who says that, they are men of principles, and men of principles don't break principles, they break themselves on it.
All right.
Now, people can easily compromise, but these are men who does not compromise. And if you want to really be a man, if you want to really stand for your faith, you have to have a matter that you will not be careful to answer anybody.
Yeah.
If somebody, for example, comes with a proposal of infidelity to a married person, will you be careful to answer? Will you say, let me consider this proposal, let's wait? And somebody comes with a proposal of fraud in the place of your work, will you consider it? So those are matters that you should not be careful to answer people. And then the second thing I also want us to learn from this story is the fact that you learn that the fire was increased seven times. Why you were telling us the story, I noticed that the fire was increased seven times. Now, why was the fire increased seven times? Now, if you look at the preceding verse, you will notice that the king was very angry.
Yes.
Why was he angry? Because these Hebrew guys, they started confessing. They said, our God that we serve is able to save us, to deliver us from this fire. The moment they started confessing, the fire was increased. Now, that's one thing I have noticed about confession. Once you're confessing, you will also notice that thing that you're confessing, the opposite will begin to happen. As if your confession is increasing the challenges, as if your confession is increasing the pain. God is about to do a miracle when the pain increases. Now, if you're having an headache, and you start confessing, I am healed, I am healed, you will notice that it's like the headache is increasing. All right, that's what confession does. So don't give up, just keep confessing. A miracle is all the way. Another lesson that we must learn from this story is the fact that we must be ready to despise the consequences of our actions, the consequences of our decision or of our conviction. You know what these guys, the Hebrew guys, said? That even if our God, whom we serve, refuses to save us from this fire, let us die. Let us die. So how many of us are willing to damn the consequences of our conviction, of our faith? If somebody comes in who you've trusted for years, maybe you're in a relationship, for example, and he's coming with a proposal of premarital sex, and he said, if you do this, I am going to walk out of this relationship. How many people are ready to damn the consequences? If somebody comes with a proposal of fraud in the place of work, that if you don't do this, if you don't sign these papers, you're going to lose your job. How many people are ready to damn the consequences? Because that is going to help your faith. That is what will make you stand in times of storm. And so these guys damned the consequences. They said, we're ready to die. Just know that we will not bow to your God. We will not bow. One of that thing that we must learn from this story was the humility of the king. Very, very humble. Why did I say that? Now, when he saw that he has lost the battle, he came with humility and surrendered to the God of the Hebrew boys. You know, some people, when they feel defeated, will not come and say, oh no, I'm the king here, I'm the king here, no matter what, I'm the boss here, no matter what. No. You see, I think that was the character of the king. The moment he sees that, you know, he has been defeated, he comes with humility. This king came with humility and said, guy, you know what, I was wrong, you're right. We need to learn humility.
When you are wrong, immediately
accept it. Immediately accept it.
And that accept the superior proposition at that point.
Of course, that was what Pharaoh didn't do. With Moses. He saw that he has lost the battle, but he never wanted, and he finally ended up his life in the Red Sea. And so we must learn humility. That's one thing we must learn from the king, even though he was not a Christian king. And then finally, the guys were promoted.
That's right.
I love the way the story ended. The guys were promoted. So every challenges that you go through, by the time you find yourself on the other side of the fire,
you will be
promoted. Your life will never remain the same. All right, I think that's some of the lessons that we need to share. All right,
okay,
over to you.
All right, so we want to hear from you. We want to know what your lessons are from the story. I want to also read questions that you might have from this story. I want to thank you so much for joining us in this story today. All right, until next time when we come to you with another Bible story. Know Jesus, know yourself, and your story will change. That's right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.